All right, we're on with Mike Ferris. Mike is a professional drywaller, mudder, taper, hanger. Like, what exactly would you, how would you phrase that?
Well, you can actually put it as a master, pro, drywaller, and taper. So
Okay.
that's how they usually kind of...
And so why do they call it drywaller and taper, not necessarily drywaller, hanger, taper, mudder? I mean, because these are the different parts of the you know, the fate of doing the drywall itself.
Right. I actually consider myself drywall and taper because I'm 9 years experience in both fields.
Okay.
So I mastered both fields.
So is mudding an entirely different field on top of that?
Yes,
or?
it is.
Okay.
It's a whole different trade itself.
Oh, because they come in after the fact, the mudders. That's
exactly,
right. Because
exactly.
if you don't already know this, homeowners, you've got the first phase, which is hanging the drywall, the next phase, which is taping the drywall, and then the mudders come in thereafter. And Mike has done numerous homes, and been doing this for many years. How many years has it been?
9 years.
9 years. Okay. Have you ever had to go out and remedy a problem caused by another drywaller?
All the time. All the time. Half the time, the drywaller will come in, he'll install a sheet, not add enough screws, he will not add glue. Most of the time that causes screws and nail pops, which that comes in with the taping. Now I got to come in, I got to fix the pops too.
So when you hang it, the key is glue it and screw it.
Always use liquid nail and always screw.
Okay.
If you use nails only and no glue, you're just going to have pops in the future.
Are you screwing the entire board?
Screw the entire board, usually a 4x8 sheet. Each stud should have 5 to 6 screws.
Okay, so one in the center and one each corner?
You have 3 in the center, 2 in the tapered edge.
Okay, okay. So I mean, that would be one way that guys are cutting corners is they're not gluing it, right? Because I remember many years ago hanging some drywall, and we weren't doing liquid nails at the time so much,
Yes.
but now it's definitely become part and parcel for the trade for quality work. Okay. Are some guys still nailing drywall?
All the time. All the time. You'll see crews come in, and then they'll just nail in the tapered edge. They'll put one in the middle and get in, get out. And that causes a lot of problems in the future.
Because that's where the homeowner down the road's got nail pops all over it. It just looks like heck.
Yeah.
Especially the nail pops are a good drywall job. Once it gets through the first heating season, that's usually how you tell that it's a quality job, because you won't get the nail pops, or not as many. But with screws, gluing and screwing, that's the key.
Okay, so get that at the consumer level, that they need to be using the glue. I mean, most of the guys, would you say most of the guys are screwing the drywall in now? I mean, quality work they are.
Yes, they are.
Okay, Terry, your experience?
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely, okay. So you're going to make sure they're using screws, and you're going to make sure that they're gluing the board up. So, you know, onto the stud. They actually put the glue on the stud and then put the board up and then screw that in from there. And then after that comes the taping.
Yes.
Where does the taping get messed up? Is there anything, you know, this is probably the least complex, but one of the most important parts of the trade world, because this is what you're looking at. You're staring at walls all the time.
Yep.
So something in the taping side that you...
What I see most is when a drywaller will come in, hang a board, and usually leave a 1/2-inch gap at the ceiling. That makes it bad for the taper. Now he has to fill most of that gap with mud.
And mud is drywall...
Drywall compound.
Yeah, drywall compound. It's goop they put in to fill the seams.
Yep. So now he's got to fill all that 1/2-inch gap with mud and tape, and it just causes too much cracking in the future.
So the trick is you want to make sure if they're doing that, they leave that little bit at the bottom, right? Isn't
Exactly.
That, which that can be covered with molding. So if you're seeing gaps up at your ceiling top when the drywall is being hung, it's probably could have been hung better by leaving the gap at the bottom, because that you're least likely to see that.
You want tight joints.
Always.
Okay.
Always tight.
Okay. Are there such thing as cheap materials in the I mean, is there such thing? Can a guy undercut you or have a lower bid because he has cheaper materials, or is it pretty standard?
It's pretty standard out there. Sometimes people will overcharge for sheets, and they'll take them sheets home and use them for their own jobs.
You know, the other thing too is, like, there's different thicknesses of drywall. Do you like recommend 5/8 on the wall and 1/2-inch on the ceilings, or all 5/8 thick drywall?
Usually recommend 5/8 for the ceiling and 1/2-inch for the walls. It's a sound barrier and fire resistant as well. And a lot of the times it keeps all the heat up in the ceiling. The thicker the drywall, the less air moisture can go through that.
And what about a bathroom? Is there a special drywall for high humidity areas?
Most of the time people use the green board for the moisture.
And why is that?
It's a moisture resistant gypsum board.
Okay.
It propels moisture.